Sports. We are Baltimore. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. What a beautiful night here in downtown St. Louis at Busch Stadium as the Cardinals look for a sweep over the Arizona Diamondbacks. Game 2, the win came at a price. Big first baseman Matt Adams, the slugger, gets hurt rounding first. He will miss significant time. The Cardinals have called up career minor leaguer Ed Easley, and Easley's been swinging one of the hottest bats at AAA this year. With the Matt Ungary and Al Rabotsky, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Delighted to have you with us for baseball here tonight. Josh Colmenter will get the start for the Diamondbacks, and for the Cardinals, it's right-hander Lance Lynn.
I expect Lance to bounce back and have a good start here tonight. His last one, he had some back issues warming up, and he made 2 bad pitches. It cost him 5 runs, 2 home runs to Morales, and a loss. But we know he's one of the best young pitchers in all of baseball, and I expect him to be on display here tonight.
The Cardinals have been outstanding here at home, 17-5. The best start at home in franchise history through 22 games. Does it continue tonight? And, of course, Yadier Molina behind the plate. Yeah, okay. among all vote getters in the National League. Johnny Peralta leading at short, and the mainstay behind the plate, and that's Cardinals catcher Yadier Molina. Matt Holliday has reached base in 42 straight games to begin the season, looking for 43 tonight. On this Wednesday night here in St. Louis, as the Cardinals will draw $3.5 million this year. Remarkable numbers. Lance Lynn, 10th start. He's 3-4, a 3.46 ERA. Run support has been an issue this year in terms of what Lance gets offensively from his club, and what he can control is what he does on the mound.
Yeah, he's been getting 2.8 runs per game, and of course that is his ERA when he pitches at Busch Stadium. He has been so successful here, 29-13 with a 2.80 ERA in 61 games. With one more win, he'll tie Kyle Loesch for the most wins, or third most wins at this ballpark.
Let's meet the Diamondbacks. Chip Hale's club. Ender Inciarte will lead it off and play left field, followed by A.J. Pollock. Paul Goldschmidt. Yasmani Tomas, who is 2 for 4 with a pair of doubles and 3 RBIs last night. Mark Trumbo is homered in this series. The switch hitting second baseman is Cliff Pennington. Tuffy Gozawish is your catcher. Nick Ahmed, a home run last night. And Josh Colmenter is the pitcher, and he'll bat ninth. So here's Ender Inciarte. A look at Ed Easley. He was really hitting the ball well for Memphis, who just finished up a nice long winning streak. The Cardinals will try to get a hot bat potentially as a pinch hitter off the bench tonight. And the first pitch is hit out of play, and we're underway here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. What a night for baseball. It is gorgeous. Inciarte is hitting .303. He has scored 28 runs for the leadoff man of the Arizona Diamondbacks, a team that will surprise you a little bit offensively by how well they have hit the ball. And a fly ball right field, Jason Hayward, and he puts it away.
Well, when you talk about Lance Lynn, most hitters have to go up there looking for the fastball. But what's different this season is he is incorporating more sliders, curves, and changeups in there. but still almost 80% fastballs. He also has learned how to sink that fastball a little bit too, so you can look for it, but he has really been able to spot it well.
And a strike to A.J. Pollock, who's hitting .315 with 4 home runs. He has driven in 16. Arizona 7 games out in the National League West. That's up the middle and past Colton Wong and into center field. Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, and a look at the defense behind Lance Lynn here tonight with Matt Holliday in left, Rando Grichuk in center, Jason Hayward in right field. Along the infield, Carpenter, Peralta, Wong, and Reynolds. Yadier Molina is behind the plate, Lynn on the mound. Going to see an awful lot of Mark Reynolds from here on out.
The Cardinals signed him for insurance. He's accustomed to playing every day, and he's accustomed to having good results with 7 straight years of having at least 20 home runs.
He's shown some versatility as he was a player with the Diamondbacks, team that originally had him, and he was a everyday third baseman. He's played left, right, third, and first. And there's a strike to Paul Goldschmidt. Great numbers for him. He'll be an all-star this year. .331, 12 homers. He's driven in 38.
He was 2 years ago. He was runner-up to McCutcheon in the MVP balloting. He was having another sensational year last year before he had his season end prematurely, being hit by a pitch.
Arizona has attempted 57 steals this year, second in the National League. Successful 41 times, third best in the senior circuit. High chopper towards short, Peralta to Wong, and the stretch by Reynolds, and Goldschmidt, who can run a bit for a big man, beats it out.
Right about that. It wasn't a tailor-made double play. It really wasn't hit that hard, and then Johnny Peralta had to come in and throw back behind Wong. But Wong gets rid of it so closely, he makes it close over at first base. And as you said, Goldschmidt, the big man, but he already has 10 steals. Or excuse me, he has 8 steals and 10 attempts himself.
Talked with Colton Wong yesterday before the game about Peralta, and he said he's developed such a comfort level in terms of that double play combination. And he said, I also feel the same way with Pete Kozma, because those two knew each other quite well from the minor leagues. He said there is a comfort level where you know where the ball is going to be delivered to you. They figure out the areas that you like it, and if they can get it in that area, it makes everything so much easier on the turn at second base.
But as you say, the comfort level, just knowing that, okay, I'm going to assume this ball is going to be chest high, right at the bag. I've got my footwork down. I can cross the bag in unison, you know, knowing how to get rid of it. Or do you have a new shortstop or something like that? It makes it very difficult.
Line drive into right. There's Hayward. He can't get there. Kept that in front. Goldschmidt to second base, and a single for Yasmani Tomas. His hitting streak is now at 11 games. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks as we take a look at the pitch to Yasmani Tomas.
Well, he's been hitting them so well. He's now 6 for 11. That ball was right down the middle. Yachty wanted it away. So he's hit everything else, and we found out he can hit middle right there.
Here's Mark Trumbo. He's batting .262 with 7 home runs. He's driven in 21. Drop him from the second spot in the lineup to number 5 tonight. That's a good pitch that runs inside, and that's strike 1.
Lance Lynn has served up a home run to Trumbo. He's 2 for 5 with a homer. And that's the one thing we'll talk about a little later, but when Lance gives up home runs, he gets in a little trouble. When he doesn't, he wins. A lot of strikes. 10 pitches, 9 strikes.
0-1 pitch 1 ball, 1 strike.
Good slider there off the plate. That is atypical. Trumbo, he struggles with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. The Diamondbacks as a team were excellent.
93 2-out RBIs, first in the National League.
And they hit 284 as a team with 2 outs.
Land hit his spot, doesn't get the call. Home plate umpire is the crew chief, Eric Cooper. Chris Guccione is at first. Lance Barksdale is at second base. Third base umpire is Chris Segal.
Fastball in, maybe.
2-1 pitch.
Slider away. Guy like Trumbo just feast on these type of hitters. Count 3-1.
Two runners on, and the 3-1 pitch taken low, a walk. And so the bases will be loaded. Cliff Pennington, a switch hitter, second baseman tonight, hitting just 186. No home runs. He is driven in 2.
He's always hit the Cardinals well, and he's hit Lance Lynn well.
Single by Pollock, then erased on a fielder's choice. Goldschmidt, Tomas, and Trumbo on the base paths. Ground ball to Colton Wong and a flip to Peralta. Diamondbacks strand the bases loaded. Cardinals coming up in the home half of the first. Is brought to you by Budweiser. Still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealers for great prices on our all-new 2015 vehicles today. Plaza of Champions just outside the ballpark, right by Ballpark Village as well, on the corner of Clark Street here at the ballpark. And Colton Wong has solidified this leadoff spot at the moment. He'll lead it off here tonight. Followed by Matt Carpenter, then Matt Holliday, Johnny Peralta, batting cleanup, Randall Grichuk, Yadier Molina, Mark Reynolds, Jason Hayward, and then the pitcher, batting ninth, Lance Lynn. Josh Colmenter, a record of 3-5 in 9 starts so far.
He's pitched well in the past against the Cardinals.
And Wong jumps on the first pitch. Deep right. Trumbo back. 1-0 St. Louis. It's a home run. The first base umpire, Eric Cooper, signals the home run. That baby's gone. Home run number 6 for Colton Wong. What a way to start tonight.
What a start, as you said, Dan. And Colementor has now given up 9 home runs in 52 innings. He had it measured perfectly. Right over the advertising sign, clearly over the wall. Bounces off the auxiliary scoreboard, but it comes right back into playing field. But once it went over the green wall, it's a home run.
Colton Wong with the most home runs by any second baseman right now in the National League. That is number 6. His 23rd RBI, and he leads the team in hits. It's not Carpenter who leads the club in hits. It's Colton Wong now with 55.
Got a couple guys on his tail, but they're hoping he just keeps on going to push him. Colton Wong second in the National League balloting for a second baseman.
Matt Carpenter is 2 for 8 in the series. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Carpenter leads the balloting early at third base. Second most votes in the National League, just 3 behind Bryce Harper. 3,000.
And a pop up. Shallow left coming on Inciarte. 1 out. Josh Colementor, the Hyundai pitch arsenal. Pretty basic fastball, curve, and a changeup.
Dan, the fastball is really down in velocity. They're saying he only registers 84 miles an hour with that. So if he doesn't spot it, he has to have fastball command. And of late, he's really been struggling in that department.
Matt Holliday trying to make history here tonight. Set a Cardinals franchise record. If he reaches base, walk, hit by pitch, the base hit, that'll be 43 consecutive games to start the year reaching base. No balls and 2 strikes. That was the first career leadoff homer for Colton Wong, measured at 372 feet.
Something about those leadoff home runs, very, very special. And of course, when the Cardinals take a lead, they usually win.
The 0-2. Slicing. Now going into the corner, and the catch is made by Trumbo. Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, the defense behind Colementor tonight. Inciarte in left, Pollock in center, Trumbo is in right. Tomas, Ahmed, Pennington, Goldschmidt along the infield. Gozawish is behind the plate. Well, the Cardinals already at half the average of what they normally give Lance Lynn in a start. Just over 2 runs per game. 5th lowest run support in all of baseball.
Far cry from a couple years ago when he got a lot of run support.
And Peralta hits a high fly ball out to right field. And that'll stay in the ballpark. Catch made by Trumbo on the track in front of the Cardinals bullpen. Colton Wong. The high leg kick and his first ever career leadoff homer. 1-0 after 1 inning of play. back to work. And it's 7, 8, and 9 in the lineup for Arizona. Tuffy goes a wish, will lead it off and takes a ball high. Tuffy hitting .216 with 1 home run, and he has driven in 13 this year. Wong to his left, and he makes the play. Let's turn to our Toyota keys to the game.
Well, the one thing about Lance Lynn is he needs to keep the ball in the ballpark. So we talk about power outage. When he allows 1 or more home runs, he's 0-3 this year with an ERA of 8.5. When he doesn't allow a home run, he's 3-1 with an ERA just over 1 at 1.19. And Kohlmeyer, he's had recent struggles. He's really been struggling late. His fastball velocity is down, the fastball command, and he's had success against the Cardinals in the past.
In the air out to left off the bat of Nick Ahmed. There's Holiday, 2 down.
Much more efficient inning this year, this one for Lance Lynn. Colementer's a little bit interesting, Dan, in the sense that he's 5 for 20, but 0 for 6 against left-handed pitchers and 5 for 14 against righties.
And a fastball and a strike from Lance Lynn. Since 2012, Lance Lynn is 50-29. 15th best in Major League Baseball in terms of wins and losses, minimum 40 decisions. ERA 26th best in that time. The strikeouts per 9, the 10th best. The value that he's given the club has been significant since 2012. And don't forget about what he did out of the bullpen in 2011.
In my mind, he's one of the most underrated pitchers in the National League, if not all of baseball.
1 ball and 2 strikes. He was saying to us the other day that you basically have to carry him off the mound for him not to make the start or complete the start. Dealt with back issues you talked about during the open. There's a strikeout, but stayed in the game against Kansas City. First strikeout for Lance Lynn. Cardinals lead at 1-0. Randall Grichuk coming up. Is with Cardinals GM John Mozeliak.
Yeah, John, earlier today you were talking about Matt Adams and his right quad strain. You said you didn't want to speculate too much because the MRI was getting reviewed further. Is there anything new that you can tell?
Well, our doctors are still going to look at it again tonight, roughly around 9 o'clock tonight. But based on early readings, this does look like something that's going to put Matt out 3 to 4 months.
Long-term prognosis to get through this? I mean, is it too early to even think about that?
Yeah, I think it's a little early for me to speculate on that. Obviously, if surgery is required, what's the extent of that? In terms of the rehab, I'm not exactly clear on what that looks like, but you know, the bottom line is it hurts. It obviously thins out the bench a little bit. It's going to test Mark Reynolds, and you know, this team's dealt with adversity in the past, and obviously we have more to deal with now.
Tough break for your team and for Matt. It seemed like he was just starting to get it going.
You know, I think that's a good observation. You know, Matt was one of those guys that we always believed had a lot of upside, and we were very hopeful that he was going to be a big contributor to this club this year. And you know, unfortunately, the injury bug got him, and my hope is that he'll be just fine afterwards. But my understanding is this is not the type of injury that's a drag, so he should be okay.
Obviously, you have Reynolds, and he's played well this season. What are some of your other options down the road should you need them?
Well, I think internally, obviously, you could look at somebody like Xavier Scruggs, who could do that for us. Also, you could rearrange or reshuffle a little bit of what we already have on this club in terms of spot starting people at first. But, you know, first base is a key position for offensive production. And so, you know, however we think through this, we just got to make sure that we have that offensive contribution happening.
Well, we appreciate the update.
Thanks, Jim.
All right, Danny, tough break for the Cardinals and for Matt Adams.
All right, Jim, thanks. Thanks to John Mozeliak as well. Here's Yadier Molina, 2 balls, 2 strikes. So 3 to 4 months, you're talking about September and maybe the postseason.
You got to get ready to play. So that's
well, I'm
tough.
just quoting what the GM just said.
Yeah.
So it's either September or the postseason. The 2-2. That's hit down the left field line, and a fair ball hops over the wall, and a ground rule double for Yadier Molina. Six is a serious number at On the Run. When the Cardinals score 6, any size drink is just 50 cents the next day. Coffee, fountain, or frozen drink. When they score, you pour. At your nearest On the Run, you earned it.
3 consecutive years that Matt Adams has found himself on the disabled list.
Well, you'd have to say that the primary substitute is coming to the plate right now at Mark Reynolds.
Yeah, and I think you got him as an insurance policy. You got him for strength off the bench, but he definitely is going to have a prominent role right now and moving forward. Injuries do happen to all ball clubs. It's how you overcome them. Who steps up? Who comes along unexpected and makes a great contribution?
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Reynolds. Ran into Tony La Russa last night, now running the Diamondbacks. And speaking of Yadier Molina, he said he's the greatest catcher I have ever seen. He's the best that's ever played this game at that position. And he said, I truly believe if we didn't have him 06 and 11, we don't win the World Series. How about that?
Well, you know, Tony at times really tried to keep his comments reserved, but now that he's away from the ball club, I think his honest evaluation's coming out. You don't get any higher than that.
The best ever to play the position. 2-1 pitch. And he was talking about primarily what he means to a pitching staff and how he is able to help a young pitcher, where 20, 30 years ago that wasn't looked upon as much as it is now. How you handle the staff. You hope you had a guy like that, but
sure,
the Cardinals certainly do. That's up the middle and a base hit for Reynolds. Molina being waved in. 2-0 Cardinals. Mark Reynolds with his 13th RBI.
We can't really replace Adams, but if Mark Reynolds does that and keeps on contributing, you know, we can hope for a speedy recovery, and it makes the pain of losing Adams a lot easier, because that's just one at bat, But it's a big at bat now. Yachty out there at second base. Good read on the ball and even come around to score.
Here's Jason Hayward, who has been knocked down to the 8th position in this lineup.
I think we'd all like to see Jason Hayward catch fire.
What do you do when John Jay gets back? That'll be one of the questions for Mike Matheny. Jay could be back as soon as Friday. Off day tomorrow for the club. Randall Grichuk has been playing well. Then you'll have Jay, Hayward, and Holiday. And you're not going to sit Matt Holiday.
Well, we thought at the beginning of the season you weren't going to sit Holiday or Jason Hayward. I think right now that, you know, maybe you do something like what the Diamondbacks are doing, have a 4-man rotation. But Hayward is not one of those guys that I think stays in your lineup day after day until he starts producing.
2-1 pitch. Now 2-2. Sticks the bat out, pops it up. Nick Ahmed makes the catch. Back to first goes Mark Reynolds, and it brings in Lance Lynn. Cardinals picked up a solo home run from Colt Long. That was in the first inning. A double by Molina, his 9th. And then driven in by Reynolds for his 13th RBI. 2-0 Cardinals. Home half of the second, as St. Louis is looking for a sweep. You think about this game and the back end of it, Cardinals should be good to go with Segrist, Rosenthal. Tremendous job by Belisle last night.
You know, Belisle's off limits today. Maybe Manus, but he only threw 2 pitches. But that was 2 games back to back. But you're right. There's a deep bullpen. And of course, with Lance Lynn, you talk about his bulldog attitude. He doesn't want to hear about pitch counts. And he really doesn't need it. But I think Mike Matheny has a lot more options tonight than he did last night.
Here's a 1-1. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Colementry had a good April, like a lot of the Diamondbacks, but pitching has caught up with them in May. And one of the big differences is the home runs allowed. 8 home runs in May versus 1 in April.
Here's a 1-2. Spoiled by Lynn.
We talked about, you know, the fastball really is not high octane. It's only 85 miles an hour. And then his secondary pitches goes down to 70. He has to be able to spot that fastball.
And a strikeout of Lynn. First strikeout for Colementor. The RBI for Mark Reynolds with a base hit into center field, his 13th to drive in Molina, who had doubled. Remember, Yachty at 44 back in 2013. He's chugging on in, and a 2-run lead for St. Louis after 2. Scott Terry, who does a terrific job at all-star performance, working with kids in the area in terms of how to throw the baseball, how to field the baseball, doing all those things. And then you take your show on the road. We've got the Cardinals Kids Clinics coming up, and these are always fun for you.
And yeah, we can travel, can't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there'll be 5 guys with me, 5 former teammates or 5 former Cardinals, plus myself, and we'll go to 8 different venues and teach some kids some baseball.
And it's not just boys. This is girls, too.
Absolutely. We're getting more and more girls each year. Some of the throwing mechanics I work on there at All-Star, I also have a lot of girls that come to me because they're starting to have arm problems.
Come on.
Oh, yeah. They play a lot of softball games.
Wow.
Yeah. So we can help the girls, too.
Ender Inciarte leads things off, followed by Pollock and Goldschmidt. 2-0 Cardinals as we play here in the top of the third. They begin Wednesday, June 10th. You'll be at Fairview Heights, and that's for ages 7 through 9. And then looking at the list, you're going to go either 7 through 9 or 10 through 13. And we have got multiple stops. You guys are in Fairview Heights, St. Peters, Afton, Belleville, Manchester, Arnold, Highland, Chesterfield Valley, with multiple times at those places. The instructors include yourself, Kerry Robinson, Bernard Gilkey, Tom Lawless, Danny Cox, Kyle McClellan, Kurt Ford, many others. So you've got it covered. And I know this is always one of the fun aspects of your job, dealing with kids in the summer as Inciarte flies out to left.
Yeah, we have 7 to 9-year-olds on the first date in town. If we do 2 towns, Fairview Heights we go to twice because we get so many kids. This is our 11th year doing these, and they've let off every year. Afton is a place where we have 2 dates at. Some places where we only have 1 date, we'll actually do 7 through 13. So we've added Cape Girardeau onto our list because we actually have a sponsor this year, Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Great.
And they have a store down there, so they wanted us to come down there. And that, believe it or not, that one's already sold out. We've already got 150 kids that have signed up to come. So I'm sorry if you're down in Cape. We can't work you in, but we'll be back next year, I'm sure. But, yeah, we get to go to a lot of places and see a lot of kids, and we have a lot of fun doing it.
Cardinals.com/clinics. Online, Cardinals.com/clinics. You can also call the Cardinals normal business hours, 314-345-9000 to sign up your son or daughter. Here's A.J. Pollock, who has singled into center field as Lynn gets the count to 2-1. Cardinals leading 2-0. Scott Terry, our guest. I'm amazed at the job that you guys do. So my kids have participated in this. You kick them around a while and yell at them. I was happy about that. You got to get those guys to listen. I can't, so you did.
Yeah, that's the challenge nowadays, is to get them youngsters to listen. So, but it's okay. Fred Bird leads us off. So we usually start at 8 in the morning, and then he gets them all riled up, and then he leaves.
So then you got to deal with it.
Yeah, then
he
leaves
the aftermath.
He leaves them to us, but I have an air horn, so that's easy to use. That can get somebody's attention. Yeah, any parent out there that's having a hard time getting their kids' attention, just go get you an air horn. Those things work really well. But we get their attention, and we hold their attention, and we have 5 stations. We go through 2 or 3 rotations. We take a break. We do autographs. So it's a really a good time. We have a drawing at the end where they get door prizes, or a Matt Carpenter bat or a Matt Adams bat, or whatever we have. A lot of the giveaway items that they do here at the gates at the Cardinals, we'll take those with us to the clinics. But base running, hitting, throwing, ground balls and fly balls, your fundamentals, and we're going to teach it to you and take it with you because we already know it.
Full count here on A.J. Pollock. And Lynn misses. One of the great things that Scott Terry is able to break down, and I mean this sincerely, I've never heard somebody explain mechanics of pitching or throwing the baseball any better than you. And Mike Helling, our producer, is going to show us here, Lance Lynn. What do you see?
Well, his extension is a little bit too far out to the side of the elbow, and that's when Lance has a little bit of problems. The further out the hand gets from the elbow, the lower the arm angle, and the lower the arm angle, the flatter the plane. So you get that movement from side to side versus downward. And, if you're moving it from side to side, you're just kind of moving it over on the barrel sometimes. But sometimes you can get in on their hands.
Cole Mentor is going for the Diamondbacks tonight. and he seems to be more traditional, if you will.
Yeah.
Over the top. And we're going to show that here in just a moment as well. 0-1 the count on Paul Goldschmidt with 1 out and a runner at first. Goldschmidt bounced to short his first time up. Outfield is straight away and deep. Fisted it, and Wong is there for the out.
And
take
there's
a look at the well, go ahead. Take a look at the Arizona starter here first.
Yeah, that's over the top, and that's a difficult angle for a lot of hitters because you only see half the baseball as it's coming in. And when you're throwing the ball at a downhill angle and you're swinging level, there's only one point of contact. If the pitch is flat, a batter can hit the ball late in the swing, early in the swing, in the middle of the swing, because the ball's not moving off the bat. But that was a perfect situation there where Lance gets that movement in, even though it's on a flat plane, and jams people. So he gets a lot of movement, but if he starts getting a little too flat with his angle, then he loses the angle of the pitch, and that's when you see him get hit around a little bit. And, you know, that's probably what was going on the first inning, and I was glad to see him get out of that. That was a great inning to get out of, and then now he just kind of settles in and he takes off, and, of course, Colton getting the home run early always helps.
General impressions of the Cardinals this year. I know you follow them and watch them closely.
I think they've done outstanding. I mean, to lose their top pitcher right out of the chute, you know, the leader of their staff, to have the schedule that they've had, and for them to be able to get off to the start that they have, I think they've played really well.
The schedule has been brutal, hasn't it?
It really has been tough, and I've never understood why Major League Baseball has the schedule that they do, given so many days off early in the year. I'm assuming this because of weather. I can't think of any other reason, because that's really not when they need the days off. But to give them, you know, 4 or 5 days off so early, wow.
I'd say that's a pretty good jump by A.J. Pollock for a stolen base.
I don't think he's too worried about the runner right now, do you?
No, not at all. Here it is, and Pollock, the steal. And for the Arizona Diamondbacks, it's now 42 stolen bases this year.
Well, that's just a pitcher falling into a routine. You know, checking the runner and then looking at home and then going on the same timing, the same cadence with just one look. So it was a pretty easy jump for the base runner.
Yes, Manny Tomas at the plate. Single to right, first time up to extend his hitting streak to 11. Mentioned this earlier in the telecast. Tony La Russa told me that Yadier Molina is the best that's ever played the position, in his opinion. Why is he so special from a pitcher's perspective?
Because he really cares about what he's doing and what you're doing, and gets on the same page with you, and can lead you when you need to be led, and can take a back seat when you're leading. I mean, there's nothing that he can't do from that perspective. He has that really good camaraderie, knows the hitters well. You know, so you feel really comfortable and confident with him back there and what he's doing and what he's presenting to you, as well as what you can do for him.
2-0 lead of St. Louis. Scott Terry is our guest. Good fastball there by Lynn. Nothing real fancy here from Lance Lynn either, Scott. Over the last year and a half, it's primarily just fastball, spotting it. He's able to move it, sink it, but nothing real fancy here from big number 31.
He has to have late movement to have success, and he has late movement. That's why you don't see many guys square him up. You know, for a guy that's probably 85% fastball, which you don't see much anymore in the big leagues.
Right.
And his fastball is 92, 93, so it's not that overpowering. It's probably a little bit above average, though. He pitches really well, and guys go up to in the batter's box knowing they're going to get a fastball to hit at some point in time during the AB, and probably two, and still has the success that he has. It has to be because of movement.
Well, caught the home plate umpire, and Molina making sure he's still standing and making sure this next pitch he'll call the one in the middle that he sees. Ouch.
That was square.
Yes, it was. You were a former position player that made it to the big leagues as a pitcher.
I did. Yeah. It's a good thing I made it here some way or another, just whatever it took, you know.
What happened? The curveball get you as a hitter?
Yeah. That I think they called it back in those days the equalizer.
They still do. It's got many a man, believe me. The great equalizer.
Yeah, as a hitter, I wondered how did they make that ball do that, and then as a pitcher, I was glad I could.
We're going to keep you, by the way, for the bottom of the third if you're willing to stay.
I'd love to. Good. I'd love to.
And I want to get into Tommy John surgeries, and, you know, it's amazing how many young kids are having them now. And it's not just guys in the big leagues or in pro ball, but even high school kids, some even before that.
Yeah, #1 surgery for the youth in baseball.
It's amazing. A 3-2 pitch, and he got him. A strikeout. His second of the night. Cardinals Kids Clinic. Scott Terry is with us, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Just visit cardinals.com/clinics and sign up. Newest on that list and the last to do it on the first pitch, Skip Schumacher back in 2008. Scott Terry is with us. We're talking about the Cardinals Kids Clinics coming up 2 weeks from today. The first one will be at Fairview Heights. All you have to do is go to cardinals.com/clinics, and all the alumni will be there. And you're there from early in the morning till about, what, 12:30 or so?
Absolutely. We get started at 8 o'clock. We have an intro. We do 5 rotations of 25 minutes. We do autographs. We have a time, little break there in the middle in between some of the rotations. We're done by 12:30.
In and out, moving, kids having fun.
Well, you know me well enough. You've seen the fantasy camps. We're going to keep you hopping.
Well, you yell at guys that are 70 years old at the fantasy camp. You might be dealing with 7 years old now. Scott, you got to be nice.
I am. That's why I have an air horn. I don't have to yell. No, it's a good time, and of course, you know, you've only got kids' attention for so long.
Absolutely.
So we keep it hopping, and we keep it fun, and we keep it good, and you know, a lot of the kids really like to interact, and so it's the kids are doing well, and they're very attentive. I mean, they do a good job as well as what we do, because obviously you would think 7-year-olds, you know, how much attentiveness are you going to get? How much do they really want to learn? What do they want to know? And I'm telling you, they're really excited to be there. So we get a lot from them.
Out in front was Wong, and fouls it to the left side. 3-2 the count. Cardinals.com/clinics from 8 in the morning till 12:30. And again, Kerry Robinson, Bernard Gilkey, Scott Cooper, Tom Lawless, Danny Cox, Kyle McClellan, Kurt Ford, many others. And it all starts a week from today, June 10th. As Wong is jammed, and the second baseman wants it, Cliff Pennington, and there's one away here in the third. We were talking about your work that you do over at All-Star Performance, which is truly one of the great places to bring a team or individual instruction with yourself and some other gentlemen that have played either in the major leagues or professional baseball. That's All-Star Performance, Matt Whiteside and Scott Cooper. But I want to bring that up because you see kids that have Tommy John surgery. So I'll ask you, why is this an epidemic right now, you think, in the game of baseball? So many surgeries, Tommy John.
It's a combination of throwing mechanics as well as lack of maturity. The body has not, developed to the point that you can give it the workload that it is. But the biggest reason is they're just abusing the kids in reference to how much they're throwing from day to day, as well as how many pitches they're throwing in a game.
So your advice for a parent out there, let's say for a 10-year-old, would be what?
His maximum pitch total is 5 times his age, and he should not reach that in 1 or 2 innings, because that's not a very good game, by the way.
No, that's a lot of walks or a lot of hits.
It's a lot of stuff going on, but, you know, maximum pitch, I mean, you got to hold to it. I like the number of 5 times their age, and if they max out on a pitch total one day, they should get 3 days off before they pitch again.
What are your feelings about pitch counts at the major league level?
I think they're probably a little overrated, but I understand the concept. I understand the idea of doing it. To me, pitch count has value to you if you know when a pitcher gets to a certain point in his pitch count, he has a tendency to start not pitching as well. Maybe he's losing his stuff. Maybe the sharpness on the breaking ball is not there, and he has a track record of that.
Sure.
You see a guy that's pretty free and easy. To me, he's a guy that you don't necessarily have to worry about a pitch count with.
A sinking liner, and Carpenter still running. But the umpire down the first base line, Chris Guccione, saw the catch by Trumbo, and there's 2 down. But you like to see Carpenter run through that play and make sure that that ball truly is caught, and it is.
That's a nice play, wasn't it?
Sure was. Sinking liner from a guy that, a Trumbo, that has played the infield good portion of his career. Here's Matt Holliday, who's trying to make history here in this at-bat. Reach base for the 43rd consecutive game to start the year. This guy is some kind of player, isn't he?
Just hard not to root for him, isn't it? I mean, he does everything the right way, and he always has from the first day he got here. Just has always done everything off the field, on the field the right way. Love the way he plays the game.
He's 35, and he told me he'd like to continue to play maybe till age 40.
It wouldn't surprise me the way he takes care of himself.
Great shape.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when we were down there for fantasy camp early in January, he was already there.
Yeah.
And he was in every day working out and taking care of himself. So
1-2. Scott Terry is with us. The Cardinals Kids Clinics presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Cardinals.com/clinics to sign your son or daughter up. The 1-2 pitch.
By the way, Dan, if they go to those websites, they'll see who the instructors are at each clinic as well.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, so if a parent is wondering, well, who's going to be there in Fairview Heights on that first Wednesday? Well, we've got the 5 instructors listed, and we have them. We've already got that scheduled out. So if they're interested in a certain guy, you know, and they can get to several different locations, they may want to look at that.
Unique view here from Tommy, our director. High atop Busch Stadium, the 2-2. And Holliday is swinging a miss as he strikes out 0 for 2. Always fun to visit with you, Scott Terry. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it. And come on out and see us at the clinics.
You got it. Begins a week from 2 weeks from today. Cardinals.com/clinics. The vibration of the bat. The ball caught right. 2-0. Paris will join thousands of new Army recruits and Cardinals fans at Fort Leonard Wood. The public is invited to Nutter Fieldhouse to watch the Cardinals game and the post-game show. We'll have rally towels for everyone. Join us. This one's for you Friday at Fort Leonard Wood. I know you're looking forward to that.
Oh, absolutely. I understand we got a young Cardinal fan and a young Dodger fan. We'll be playing the Dodgers that night, and these young men that are going through basic training. Well, let's see if
this is well hit out to center field. Grichuk back at the wall, and it's gone. That's a long home run off the bat of Mark Trumbo. His second home run in this series, and that makes it 2-1.
Trumbo's first one was to center field. This one about 20 feet deeper over the grass area, dead center field. Talked about Lance Lynn, how much better he is when he doesn't serve up a home run. But this is a guy that, you know, is a legitimate power man, and that's why he's playing right field and in the lineup every day.
I mentioned those numbers since he became a starter. Lynn gives up .66 home runs per 9, 11th best in all of baseball, so he doesn't give up many.
Dan, one of the keys is if you give up home runs, make sure they're solo shots. There's a lot of guys in the Hall of Fame that gave up 30 home runs a year, but they were rarely with men on base.
Here's a 2-0 pitch to Cliff Pennington. 2-1.
Trumbo has 10 career hits against the Cardinals. 5 of them are home runs. Second off the Lynn.
Diamondbacks have had their struggles against the Cardinals recently. They've dropped 8 of their past 9 against St. Louis. Last time we saw Arizona was the final weekend of the regular season of 2014 when the Cardinals officially clinched. 3-1 pitch. There's a fly ball into left center. Holiday over to make the catch. One away. Had the chance to visit with Bob Brenly before the game, and Bob working as an analyst with Arizona, and he was the manager of the Diamondbacks in 2001 when they won the World Series. And he said while most of the country was rooting for the Yankees because of 9/11, he said you wouldn't believe from the amount of Mets fans and Red Sox fans that were still pulling for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Truly one of the great World Series that was ever played. 9/11 forced the World Series and a portion of the regular season to be pushed back. You had Derek Jeter, who turned into Mr. November. Byung-Hyun Kim with all the home runs he allowed.
Boy, I forgot about that.
Bob told me a great story, Al. He said, and there's Bob Brenly. He said a lot of the players were still so, and you can understand why, it's so emotional from 9/11. So he said, I'm going to make it optional if you want to go to ground zero. He said many of the players did not. And he said arguably the most gratifying aspect of the series was not Schilling and Johnson on 2 days rest, which they did multiple times. They threw nearly 40 innings in the 7-game series, but he said they went there, carried supplies, signed all the autographs, and he said the amazing part was people would hand him cell phones to Randy Johnson and Curt Schilling to say hello, wish them well, bring up the spirits. T-Mobile game changer. Randy Johnson, his Hall of Fame career, headed to the Hall of Fame this year. Great class with him. And Bob also said that Randy is as talkative as anybody now you'd ever find. He said he can't believe it.
Oh, good. And as you saw in that graphic, that the Hall of Fame gave him the option whether to go in as a Seattle Mariner or go in as Arizona Diamondback.
Bunt attempt and foul off the bat of Ahmed.
And Randy is going to go in as a Diamondback, and he'll be the first one ever to reach the Hall of Fame.
I was talking with a writer over the weekend in Kansas City, and they felt if Whitey would have known he had the choice to go in or pick the cap or the logo, that he may have taken a blank cap because of his connection to the Kansas City Royals, turning around that franchise. I beg to differ, but
yeah, I don't think so. But that's his choice, and yeah, we never really heard about that until what, Greg Maddux and Tony La Russa.
Tony La Russa going in with no logo on the cap. A strikeout for Lance Lynn, his third tonight. 44,000 here at Busch Stadium on a Wednesday night. 2-1. In favor of the Cardinals, and we highlight Mark Trumbo, the right fielder, took a hit away from Matt Carpenter, and also a home run out to deep center field. AT&T U-verse rewind.
Trumbo's done a nice job out there in right field. We all know he's a first baseman, but on the Diamondbacks, you're not going to outplay Goldschmidt. And a lot of people have talked about that Trumbo could be a possible player to be traded to get some young prospects and part of their rebuilding phase here with the Diamondbacks.
Peralta's had a good series, 4 for 9, game-winning homer, riding a 5-game hitting streak coming into play tonight. Here's a 1-1. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And he's always hit Arizona pitching very well. 422 average coming in tonight with 4 home runs. We saw a big one on Monday.
We're going to take a look at Randal Grichuk and his stance in just a moment, how that has changed, and it has paid dividends. What a talent this guy is. Man, is he fun to watch. Here's a 1-2 pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Peralta. Leading vote getter at shortstop.
Yeah, that's nice to see. Boy, Missouri is well represented in the early balloting.
Just missed.
Cardinals have 4 players leading balloting at their positions, and the Royals have 5 players leading. I think the world would boycott a all-Missouri I-70 All-Star game.
3-2 is a base hit into left. Randal Grichuk spoke with him in the clubhouse today about his stance, and he's laying the bat down. You look on the left, that's late in the regular season. You see it's more upright. It started in the postseason of last year, the middle shot of laying the bat a little bit further down, and now you see his stance on the far right. He said he was more upright last year. He felt his swing was too complex in too many pieces. So 2 reasons he did this. 1, to simplify the swing, get it to the baseball. And 2, he said he's had better plate coverage. Started last year's postseason, carried over to off-season workouts, and has it paid off so far this year?
And it's just simple common sense. The longer your swing, the more complicated, the more moving parts, and the longer it takes you to get to the ball. Here you see it's more of a direct path to the ball. And he's got tremendous power.
That power is generated with his bat speed. I watch him in amazement and think about who's got better bat speed right now than Randal Grichuk. Not many.
You know, common denominators are all big home run hitters years ago. They weren't that big. You know, they were roughly 6 foot, maybe 180 to 200, 220. But they had forearms, the wrist and forearms, and get quick path to the ball.
Plate coverage, we saw that last night with an opposite field home run. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Randal Grichuk.
Randall's going to strike out some. He's a young player that has a great talent. He's going to have some rough times like the game in New York with 5 strikeouts, but it's not going to eat him up. And he came back with 3 extra base hits the next day.
Only 23, does not turn 24 until August. I just think it's going to be very, very tough for Mike Matheny to not play him. He is so intriguing, and when he has played, he has produced. He's also made terrific plays defensively.
That's a big key right there, because even if he's not producing offensively, he can contribute to a victory with his defense. And there are going to be times where he's going to be overmatched, and there are going to be spells where he's not going to look good and not make a lot of contact. But I think that if you stick with him, it's very intriguing, like you say, of what the finished product will be in a couple of years.
The 2-2. And he pulls it sharply and fair off the glove of Tomas. Peralta on his way to third. A double for Randal Grichuk. Turned quickly on that pitch.
And you really could see how quick he is to the ball. And when you talk about his base hits, there's so many of them. The majority of them are extra base hits. Look at there, kind of the one-handed, just takes the bat, throws it there, but you see the finish. It's a changeup, so it's down. He's a little bit out in front, but look at the form there. So much more under control on an off-speed pitch. A year ago, with that other bat holding the bat more erect and higher, he would not have made contact on that ball.
10 of his 15 hits now for extra bases. First time up, a double for Yadier Molina. Matter of fact, if you look at Grichuk through 48 at-bats, which is what he had coming into play tonight, to last year, he was hitting 167. Tonight, start of play 292. Slugging percentage nearly doubled. I mean, you want improvement, and man, has he made it.
And remember, he missed 27 games with the lower back strain, and so he's trying to play himself back into shape too. #1 draft pick with the Angels the year that they made a guy named Mike Trout #2.
Here's a 2-0 pitch. Cardinals with a pair of doubles, 2 singles, and a home run thus far against Colementor in his 65 pitches. Redbirds lead it 2-1 and have a great opportunity here.
It's kind of been a really up and down season for Colementor. And he's had one game where he went 9 innings giving up no runs. He also had a game where he gave up 9 runs in an inning and a third.
Three and one. Runners at second and third. Nobody out. Molina ahead in the count. 3 balls, 1 strike. 3 and 2. Cardinals have a solo home run from Colton Wong back in the first. Mark Reynolds a single following Molina's double in the second to drive in Yanni to make it 2-0. Mark Trumbo with a solo home run to cut into the lead. It's now 2-1.
Clemente, one of the best control pitchers, so you expect him to throw a strike when he's behind the count.
Mark Reynolds on deck. Big gap in left center. Up the middle, Clemente knocks it down. Oh boy, he had the runner between second and third hung up, and that's Randall Grichuk.
And Grichuk ran on contact where Peralta, the lead runner, you got to know what the lead runner does. You can see here. Grichuk goes on contact, but Peralta does not go. And Clemente looks like he looked. He had it sure out at second base, but he took the even surer route to run at first base. So the Cardinals still with the golden opportunity with just 1 out.
So Mark Reynolds, a single into center field. Jim Hayes had the chance to visit with Cardinals general manager John Mozeliak a couple of innings ago. Matt Adams out for at least 3 to 4 months. So Reynolds will see significant time, and a shift here on the infield. Really puts a lot of pressure on the first baseman in this spot, where Goldschmidt has got to race back to the bag and also cover a lot of ground on the right side. There he is.
Well, we saw in yesterday's ball game where the ball was hit to Adams when he was positioned like that. Nobody could get to the bag.
3-0. Hayward on deck.
Out here, Molina, his follow through carried him to the third base side, and then he raced over there, but it was a base hit because Adams couldn't get to the bag and didn't think his pitcher was going to be there.
You know he's got the green light on 3-0. He could launch this baby as this crowd comes alive. Pitch to Reynolds, and he walked him. The first walk issued from Clemente, and it brings in Jason Hayward. MLB.TV. You can watch every out-of-market game live in high definition. Visit MLB.TV for details. Inning started with a base hit by Peralta to left. Randall Grichuk off of Yasmani Tomas's glove at third for a double down the third base line. Molina grounded back to Clemente. Reynolds the walk, first issued from the righty, and now Jason Hayward. Well, before the game, good to see Adam Wainwright in the house, back with the starters and watching the bullpen sessions. Carlos Martinez credited Adam Wainwright the other day for some advice that he picked up watching the game on television.
And you can see there Jaime Garcia picking his brain, trying to do things. But you're right, the big leader of the pitching staff, but he's so important to this team, and he's going to be the chief cheerleader right now, and the role that he'll do an excellent job at. That was the first walk of tonight, and just the 8th this year in more than 55 innings.
Hayward with 1 grand slam. 1 out, bases loaded. Jammed it. Popped it up on the infield. This could be an inning that the Diamondbacks, if the Cardinals don't score, look back on that propels them in this game.
Absolutely. You got a team like this that's kind of reeling, and if you can bust out on top, kind of let them know that you're going to sweep them. But if you let them hang around, they've got some firepower in their offense. They can steal a victory from you. So maybe Lance Lynn can help his own cause.
Two outs, bases loaded. Lynn struck out back in the 2nd inning. Momentum shifts in the game of baseball. You don't hear it a lot. You always hear about it in football, basketball, hockey. And certainly
real.
There are some in baseball.
Yeah, it's real. And this would be a big lift. These guys would come in off the field saying, hey, we got them. They didn't want to put us away. Remember 2013, Cole Mentor had 2 real long relief outings against the Cardinals. One early where the starter got knocked out, and another one in extra innings. I'm talking about 4 and 5 innings of just outstanding baseball and beating the Cardinals.
One ball, 1 strike on Lance Lynn with the bases loaded. One and 2. Cardinals had runners at 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. Molina hit back to Cole Mentor for an out, no runs scored. Then a walk to Reynolds, bases loaded, 1 out. Hayward popped it up on the infield, and now a 1 ball 2 strike count on Lance Lynn. Two and 2.
Cole Mentor really doesn't have something. Tony La Russa, when he was here, he said that pitchers hit in the National League, so he gave his pitchers more hitting time than anybody had ever seen. And that's carried over. So these Cardinal pitchers get plenty of batting practice. A little different hitting something 84, 85 than 95.
3 and 2.
And he's making a bat out of it.
Three-two pitch. Lynn with a fly ball. Shallow center. A.J. Pollock is there. The Diamondbacks escape. We head to the 5th. And Pat, the great Lou Brock and his statue outside. Lynn back to work here in the 5th. Big happy birthday to Joy Shanahan. She's 16 and even passed her driver's test. Nicely done, Joy. Happy birthday to Joy Shanahan.
Old mentor signed with the Arizona back in 2007. He was in the 15th round. Our newest Cardinal, Ed Easley, was the #1 draft pick of the Diamondbacks that year. And they played together for 3 different years. I think Jim has more about that. We'll probably hear from him shortly.
One-two pitch to Cole Mentor, and a strikeout for Lance Lynn. So Lynn with his 4th strikeout. Jimmy, what do you have for us?
Well, Ed Easley was originally drafted by Arizona. Al mentioned he's very familiar with the D-backs pitchers, not as familiar with Busch Stadium. Memphis was at Fresno last night. He took an early morning flight. When he got to St. Louis, he needed a little help finding the Cardinal clubhouse. He went to the media lounge. When he got the call up earlier this season, Dan, the Cards are on the road, so he has to get acquainted with his brand new home ballpark. By the way, Dan, he told me he recently started working on learning to play first base, so another option for the Cardinals.
Something to think about is the trade deadline will be here before you know it. Especially gets active after the All-Star break. One ball, one strike. Ender Inciartes fly to right, also fly to left, 0 for 2. Diamondbacks with 3 hits tonight and a 2-1 St. Louis lead.
And when you have injuries, you got to get creative. I wonder if anybody's talked to Matt Holliday about playing first base.
I think you got to throw everything out there.
Absolutely. See what sticks.
Matt Holliday, when he first was signed in professional baseball, was a third baseman. Here's a 1-2 pitch. And a grounder to second base. Colt Wong makes the play. Tuesday, June 9th coming up. It's the RBI Golf Tournament, reviving baseball in the inner cities. Ted Savage RBI Golf Classic coming up to benefit Cardinals Care. Cardinals Care donated another field today, the Tony La Russa Field. Here's A.J. Pollock, drops down a bunt, deadens it. Man, is that a beauty. You talk about deadening the bunt.
I'm talking about being creative. It's 2 for 2 with a walk and a stolen base today, but need base runners. Look at how he drops that bunt down, lets the ball come to him, have soft hands, let the vibration just deaden the ball, and there's no chance at all for Lance Lynn.
And what you do, you extend the inning to arguably one of the top hitters in the game today, Paul Goldschmidt.
Franchise player, got him locked up, and great story is said. Nobody really thought much of him as a player, even at the high school level.
After his junior season, it was his traveling coach that was able to convince Texas State to take a chance on Paul Goldschmidt, the only team in university to do so. He's the only player in that university's history of sports to have his number retired. A fastball taken at the knees for a strike.
A lot of baseball colleges in Texas, but Texas State doesn't roll off your tongue, does it?
Well, there was even one point some within the Diamondbacks weren't sure about Goldschmidt, to the point that they offered Paul Konerko 3 years and $30 million to come to Arizona. Obviously did not sign. Goldschmidt got better and better, and now has emerged as I think, a superstar in this game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was runner-up to the MVP in 2013. Last year, he was having just a great season and got hit, ended the season.
Injury is a big part of the Diamondbacks' 98-loss season last year.
He was hitting 300 with 39 doubles, 19 home runs, 69 RBIs. He got fractured his left hand on August 1st.
That was a series with Pittsburgh in which McCutchen was hit a couple of times. Pirates retaliated, and Goldschmidt was on the other end of that, got hit on the hand, was done for the year. But all kinds of injuries for Arizona last season. 3 balls, 1 strike with 2 outs and a runner at first. Goldschmidt takes a ball, and Lynn can't believe it. Third walk allowed by Lance Lynn, the BJC Healthcare difference maker. Diamondbacks with a runner in scoring position, but what the opponent has done against St. Louis in this spot, they've only hit 195. That's a reason that you win 30 games of your first 46.
And the solid relief pitching. You know, when your starters have done a great job, but getting consistent relief pitching to clean things up for him.
Yasmani Tomas, the single to right, he has also struck out. They gave him $68.5 million over 6 years. Part of that was a $14 million signing bonus, $36 million over the first 4 years. And after those 4 years are up, he can become a free agent again. He can opt out.
And it's been kind of interesting because, you know, reading about him before we saw this series start, you kind of said, okay, well, maybe it's not something to be too happy about. But spring training, they said he couldn't play third base. He's been fine in this series, but his hitting has really gotten your attention.
Arizona in this series 2 for 19 with runners in scoring position. The Cardinals 5 for 20. Just 2 hits in this spot for the Diamondbacks. 1 ball, 1 strike. Big gap in right center. That's primarily where he's gone, the opposite field. The 1-1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lynn has walked 3, struck out 4, and allowed just 4 hits and 1 run.
Tomas, 291 games in Cuba, hit 289, 43 home runs, and 160 RBIs. They've got him for his power. But yet some people are concerned that he has such an up-the-middle approach. Can't argue with the 350-plus batting average he's had this month.
Tried to get him to chase on the slider. That's the pitch he struck out against with Belisle last night with the bases loaded in the 7th. Runners off with this pitch. Pollock would score easily. A gapper may score Goldschmidt. Now Lynn wants to talk with Molina. The influx of talent coming into Major League Baseball from Cuba has been astonishing. Yoenis Cespedes, Yasiel Puig, Jose Abreu, who was just a beast last year with the White Sox. Now you have Yasmani Tomas. Talked about it in Game 1. It's truly a world game. Players from all over the place.
With opening up relations with Cuba, the baseball world would be very happy and say we'll add them to our amateur draft instead of paying these high free agent price tags.
One thing the Cardinals did do this past week, they opened up a Dominican academy, and that'll have around 60 to 90 kids every year developing players. It's also a chance for them to learn more about American customs, get themselves situated with the language, the education, but that just opened up this past week for the St. Louis Cardinals. 3-2 is lined, and Wong stays with it to first, and he gets Reynolds to get back to the bag and make the play. Tomas hustling down the line, and Reynolds had to get to the bag. Make sure that he was there to get the out. Compliments of Nestle Purina. They're available to 25,000 pet lovers ages 16 and older. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Here's Colton Wong, followed by Matt Carpenter and then Matt Holliday. See the tattoos on the arm of Colton Wong. Many of those represent symbols, what Hawaii means to him. He grounds out to second, homered earlier tonight. Colton says he thinks about his mother who passed away and the people in Hawaii who look up to him. He is now one of the premier players to come from Hawaii. You got Shane Victorino, Kurt Suzuki, Colton Wong. He said the competition, telling me the other day, in Hawaii not nearly as good as it is here on the mainland. He said, though, it is getting better because of guys like him.
Sure.
And the kids idolize Colton Wong when he goes back home. Takes great pride being from Hawaii.
Highest mountain in the islands. It's right there at Hilo, where he's from, and he even has a saying on his bat. because that mountain means so much to the natives of Hawaii.
I asked him about just pro baseball in general. What's it like in Hawaii? And he said that he'd be able to watch the Atlanta Braves on TBS. He said his favorite player growing up was Chipper Jones. Never had the chance to meet him, but really idolized him growing up. Wanted to be the next Chipper, and now he's become a very good player in his own right as Carpenter draws a walk. Second walk issued by the right-hander brings in Matt Holliday, who is currently one of the leaders in the outfield for the National League All-Star team. Vote 35 times on the 2015 Esurance ballot. Vote early and often. Cardinals.com/vote. Holliday is flied out to right and was called out on strikes in the third as he's trying to make it 43 straight games reaching base. The fly ball lifted foul down the right field line.
You know, a lot of guys get to the big leagues on different paths. And, you know, a lot of guys have, you know, tremendous high school records and something. I was reading about Cole Mentor. He's from Homer, Michigan. In high school, he was 10-0 with an ERA of 0.13 with 223 strikeouts as a senior. That high school had a 75-game winning streak.
Holliday with a new record here in St. Louis. 43 consecutive games to start the year. He has reached base. A new record for the St. Louis Cardinals. Matt Holliday.
You don't think these Cardinal fans know about things like that? Look at them on their feet. They saw that ball off the bat and they started applauding and on their feet for Matt Holliday. They'll go after the all-time record now.
Here's Johnny Peralta, who is 1 for 2. They'll authenticate that baseball. An historic ball here for the St. Louis Cardinals. 100+ years of baseball, that's never been done until now. The 35-year-old Matt Holliday. On pitch. Was looking it up the other day. There are 32 non-pitchers that are 35 years or older right now that are in baseball. So there's only a handful of them, really. You know, when you think about how many players are on a team and all the different teams in Major League Baseball. And Holliday, among those players, first in batting average, on base percentage, slugging percentage, second in hits behind Adrian Beltre.
Pretty. Just goes to show you that career is quite extensive and with no sign of slowing down.
No. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Hit sharply to the third baseman. Tomas makes the play. So here it was just moments ago. Matt Holliday with this base hit. Classic Holliday. A screamer off his bat.
Nothing cheap about that. Not only the base hit, but he was able to send the lead runner Carpenter from first to third. Now his teammates need to help him cash in.
Derek Jeter, 53 straight back in 1999, but Pujols' record now belongs to Holliday. Most consecutive games reaching base. This is since 1914. Jeter at 53. Now Randall Grichuk, who has doubled tonight. Of concern, though, for the Cardinals, back-to-back innings with great opportunities, and they have not cashed in. It's still a 2-1 St. Louis lead. Back in the fourth, runners at second and third, nobody out. Did not score. They had the bases loaded, one out, did not score. Moments ago, runners at first and third, and one out. Let's see if Grichuk can pick him up. The 1-1.
With Cole Mentor, the way he throws it over the top, he really kind of hides the ball a little bit. And he's a fly ball pitcher. Doesn't get the ball down a lot, but it's hard to kind of center the ball on him. When you do, many times it'll be a home run. But a lot of times he'll get the pop up.
Two-one pitch. There's that good changeup. That's been an effective pitch here tonight.
If he throws it properly like he just did, the ball will be right down at the bottom of the strike zone. But he gets so many of his fastballs up, and then you get that pitch down below, and it just really changes the eye angle, and you're out in front of him on it.
Big gap in left center. Outfield is deep. In particular, the center fielder Pollock. So Matt Holliday, they've just put it on the board. Cardinals franchise record for reaching base safely in 43 games to begin a season. Start thinking about that. At the age of 35 to do it is one thing. Just to do it in general is an amazing accomplishment. But 100+ years of baseball, and that's never been done. The St. Louis Cardinals. The 2-2. Out in front, but just got a piece to stay alive.
I want to think about it too, Dan. The last 30-40 years, with the specialization of relief pitching, you'd have chances where you'd have a starter that would complete games. Well, that third, fourth time you saw a pitcher that night,
That's a great point.
You might have some good opportunities to hit him. But now you may face, 3 different guys, 2 at bats with a starter, and then a couple, 2 or 3 relievers.
You think of some of the names that have been here, whether it be Brock, Busual, Pujols, and he's the best in terms of reaching base to start a season. I mean, that's incredible.
Now, is Stan's record like 58? Not starting the season,
right,
but just at any point in the season carrying it through.
Two-two. And a strikeout of Grichuk. Matt Holliday with a single into right center. Franchise record 43 games. 43 straight to begin the season. Matt Holliday of the St. Louis Cardinals. Make their way to St. Louis. Lackey is 2-3. And in the 3-game series, the Cardinals do not face either Clayton Kershaw or Zach Greinke.
As a baseball fan, you're disappointed, though.
If you're a Cardinal hitter, you're doing backflips.
Matt Carpenter may be disappointed. He'll miss Kershaw, but I think Kershaw's saying, I'm going to get him. I'm going to get my shot at him again, but he just doesn't want to meet the Cardinals in October.
Kershaw has not been the same pitcher, though, that he was a year ago.
You know what it is a lot of guys are jumping on the first pitch.
I think when you have a workload like he's had last couple of years, but in particular last year, it takes its toll. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, and it's also, they say like Arizona can't beat Greinke, but they hit Kershaw pretty well. And I think it's kind of like now he's been around so much in the West that these teams have gotten a chance to see him an awful lot. They're not mesmerized by their motion.
That's hit out of play. Two balls, 2 strikes. A 2-1 lead for the Cardinals here in the top of the 6th. Trumbo leading it off for Arizona is homered tonight, and he strikes out. Strikeout number 5 for Lance Lynn. Look at the Chevy Foxtrots.
Set up away, that little slider off the plate, and he goes fishing.
Cliff Pennington is 0 for 2. Goes a wish is to follow Pennington. No activity right now in the bullpen for Arizona. And a ground ball past Wong and into right field. One out base hit. As Cole Mentor watches. With that, that'll get activity in the Arizona Diamondback bullpen. Goes a wish, has grounded to second, also flied out to right field.
Delgado getting up. I think it's very interesting, Dan, and both of us put Montero in a high category. The catcher for Arizona that was traded to the Cubs, but then knowing how much Dave Duncan and Tony La Russa put emphasis on a catcher that really takes care of the pitching staff. I think now it kind of makes sense to us that they let Montero go. And Tuffy, who you really have to pull for a guy, 31 years of age, been around a long time, but finally getting a chance to play every day and making the most of it because of his handling of the pitching staff, the most unselfish part of catching.
A short lead at first by Pennington. Think about this game where you get concerned are the opportunities the Cardinals have had back in the 4th and 5th and did not score. They had a chance to bust this game wide open.
Just have to believe they keep on getting those chances, they will break through.
One ball, 1 strike. Pitch count is at 88 for Lance Lynn. He is due up fourth for the Cardinals, looking ahead to the sixth, the bottom half.
Pitch count's not the biggest deal with him. He throws as many pitches in per start as there is in the National League, and by his own admission, I'm big, strong. I don't even worry about a pitch count. Don't even talk to me about that.
Big crowd on this Wednesday night. Cardinals have not had a crowd under 40,000 since 2013.
It's amazing.
Expecting 44,000 tonight. Start the runner and safe at second. And the tag applied by Reynolds. What a play. And Gozowicz is down and hurt. The tag applied by Reynolds as the Cardinals tried to turn two.
He's grabbing the knee and trying to avoid that tag, and
they started the runner, what would have been a tailor-made double play. Cardinals chanced it with Peralta going to Wong, knowing the running speed of Gozowicz, and here it is. Clearly safe, and here's the tag by Reynolds.
So he tried to jump over the tag, and then he was touching the base, looked like with his left foot. I believe it's his right knee, but see how he had that awkward step where he was all stretched out?
It's his left.
His left knee.
Watch the left foot, the base of the bag. I don't think he ever got the bag.
Nah, he never got the bag. And you jump for it like that and you don't hit the bag, even if sometimes you do, but if you get it right there, you hyperextend it. I'm 31. I get a chance to play every day. I'll be okay.
Well, you got to be able to squat if you're a catcher. So
well, that's what he's saying now.
Might be a little tough. Lance Lynn has thrown a couple of pitches just to stay loose with Gozowicz on the ground. Now he's done. So 2 outs, runner at second base. That's Pennington at good speed, and here's Nick Ahmed, who is fly to left, and he also struck out. Ahmed was 2 for 4 last night with a double, a home run, and an RBI.
Is a hot hitter into this series.
David Peralta is at the on-deck circle. 1 ball, 1 strike. He would be the pinch hitter for Colementor.
I was a little surprised that Peralta didn't start this game. He's 2 for 3 with a home run against Lance Lynn. Two
2-1 the count. 2-2. Didi Gregorius was shipped to the Yankees. Clear way for Ahmed to play every day. Love his glove. They think eventually he will hit. Won a Gold Glove in the minor leagues. Outfield is shallow. 2-2 pitch. Full count.
And Owings got off to a real slow start. Started the season, they were 1 for 20 with 1 RBI. But Ahmed's really been swinging the bat much better late.
Looking for his 6th strikeout of the night, and instead it's his 4th walk he's issued. I was surprised to see Lance Lynn go deep into games in terms of a pitch count. Most pitches per game this season, averaging 105. Kia in the driver's seat. Pretty good pitchers on that list. So runners at first and second. Cole Mentor out of the game now, and here's David Peralta, the former pitcher in the Cardinals minor league system. And a broken bat, fly ball into right. Hayward can't make the play. Gets away, and 2 runs will score.
Broken bat. Hayward, Gold Glover out there, knows it's not going to carry all the way to him. Tried to catch it on 1 hop. It gets by him, and that guarantees another run. Made an error last night, his first in over a year. And they give another error there.
You could see where he was trying to get in a position to field it cleanly and throw home. And in doing so, ran into trouble, and now the Cardinals trail in this game 3-2. So base hit, then the air. Ender Inciarte lifts it down the left field line. That's slicing foul and out of play. No balls, 2 strikes. Inciarte is hitless tonight in 3 plate appearances.
And your theme of the Cardinals stranding runners have come back to haunt them.
Just seems like at this level especially, you know, you get those kind of opportunities and you don't cash in, it catches up.
So often forget the other guys are making a living too.
Right. 0-2 pitch and a ground ball taken there by Reynolds. Steps on the bag for the final out. Bottom of the 6th rolls in when we come back. mark down your calendar for August 15th. It's open to the public at Ballpark Village. The induction ceremony presented by Edward Jones, Ted Simmons, Kurt Flood, Bob Forsch, and George Kissel. Well, it's the second time Jason Hayward has had an error in back-to-back games in his career. Last time it happened was in 2011 as Randall Delgado comes in, our Chevy called to the pen, and he's making his 19th appearance in relief of Cole Mentor. Cole Mentor, 5 innings, 6 hits, couple of runs, walked 2, struck out 3, 102 pitches. Jordan Pacheco takes over for Gozawish. And the first pitch to start the bottom of the 6th is taken for a ball by Yadier Molina.
Has had success against Delgado, 3 for 8. One of those 3 hits, a home run, and the Cardinals need to battle back.
That pitch taken low. Molina came up with runners at second and third, nobody out in the 4th. Grounded back to Cole Mentor, made the play, no runners advanced. Nobody scored.
Cardinals have stranded 6 runners through 5 innings. Diamondbacks have stranded 7. Big cut right there by Yachty.
Backing up and a long throw in the dirt and picked by the Gold Glover Goldschmidt. Play by Yasmani Tomas.
Said Tomas really struggled playing third base in spring training. Actually was sent to the minor leagues, but backs up on this one. Almost a turf throw. Throw it out in front of your first baseman like that, and he'll get a nice, easy, true hop.
Here's Mark Reynolds. The shift is on here for Reynolds. And a ground ball that's pulled to third. There's Tomas. They say he does that a lot, especially on balls to his left, where he'll go to the ground. You know, not necessarily a play that you have to dive for, but just goes to the ground. And there's a little smile from Nick Ahmed, and we've seen it even in this game on the backhanded plays. He's gone down a couple of times.
You know, he's a big body guy, and I think he realizes that if I don't catch the ball cleanly, it might hit me in the body, and I'll just pick it up and throw.
Here's Jason Hayward. He needs something positive. Man, he's had a tough go.
Yes, he has.
Back-to-back games with an error. And last night's could have proven to be costly because it put runners in scoring position. Peter Borges on deck. That happened in the 9th inning, and then just moments ago it led to a couple of runs. I initially thought he was going to catch that baseball. Would have been a very good play, but it looked like he would have been close to go after it.
And I think his mindset was, do I have, if I would have to leave my feet in order to catch it, and just felt like he couldn't take the chance. But when it got too close to him and he couldn't, you know, get it on one hop and come up in a throwing position, it allowed the second runner to score. The difference in the game right now.
2 outs, nobody on. A 3-1 pitch, and Hayward slices that into left field.
There's something positive.
A 2-out base hit. Cardinals pull back Peter Borges, and Tony Cruz will pinch hit. That is another aspect as to why Ed Easley was brought up. You can also now pinch hit Cruz earlier in games if you chose to go that route.
Yeah, there are times where couple of years ago where Mike Matheny wanted to use Tony Cruz to pinch hit, but felt like he couldn't as the only protection behind with Yachty. But now with a third catcher, they can do it. It's Mike Harkey, the pitching coach for Arizona.
One of those games where Lance Lynn leaves trailing 3-2. The Cardinals had opportunities and almost got out of the jam in the top of the 6th. Here's your DraftKings players to watch update. DraftKings.com, enter promo code Cardinals. Highest on base percentage with runners in scoring position. Goldschmidt and Holiday, two of the best.
It just seems like LeMahieu is having a tremendous season where last year we were impressed with his defense and his offense was lacking, but he's looked like he's having a great season. We'll see him. This is the next road trip, right? LA and Colorado?
That would be right. So here's Tony Cruz. The bench for the Cardinals, now that Adams is out, Reynolds playing, which would, well, basically it could be every day. Right now you've got Ed Easley, Tony Cruz, Pete Kozma, and Peter Borges. There have been 9 stolen base attempts against Pacheco. Remember, Gozawish is out, 7 steals. It's something to think about here.
Absolutely.
Fastball and a strike to Tony Cruz.
Edwards 5-0 in steal attempts.
Right fielder is way too deep for Tony Cruz. Check swing, and he did not go. I think that's the first time I've seen on a check swing they actually said he did not go. I mean, they're punching guys out right and left.
Well, and I wouldn't have said a word if they would have punched him out too.
Me neither. I thought he did go.
I did too.
Here's a 1-1. Cruz is 2 for 8 as a pinch hitter this year. Hayward is running. One ball, 2 strikes. Tony Cruz has had a total of 29 at bats this season. That's it.
Yeah. Tough spot to be playing a backup catcher behind Yadier Molina. And he's had many more pinch hit attempts this year than normal. As you said, 2 for 8. Mitch Harris will come in and pitch the 7th. Delgado and Hayward were teammates with Atlanta.
Atlanta just picked up Juan Uribe from the Dodgers.
6-player trade. I haven't heard all the names, but
Tony Cruz, 25 of his 49 career ribbies with 2 outs. .25 of his 40. All right. 3-2 Arizona as we head to the 7th. No surprise fees at checkout. That's right, on StubHub. The price you see is the price you pay. Plus, with the StubHub app, you can buy and sell Cardinals tickets anytime, anywhere. StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the St. Louis Cardinals. 3-2 as we head to the 7th. Lance Lynn, 6 innings tonight, 3 runs on 6 hits, walked 3 and struck out 5.
Loved your interview with Mitch Harris for Memorial Day, and some of his comments were very apropos. I thought he put it really pretty simple for a lot of people, that Memorial Day is for those, the heroes that gave the ultimate sacrifice, and Veterans Day is for people like Mitch that served in the military and been home or come home. We want to recognize them for their service, but Memorial Day is for the lost.
Wasn't he great though in that piece?
Yeah.
I mean, he was just tremendous. Nice pick by Carpenter, the first man retired. This was great too. We had a camera on Mitch Harris now with his Cardinal teammates. His reaction to the walk-off. He's as excited as anyone.
Absolutely.
Great to see.
Talk about Memorial Hall at Annapolis, where all the midshipmen eat. Big giant room, and and everything, but I'm sure that you go around the walls of that building, it probably tells so much of the history and people that have in memory. My older brother went to Annapolis. I went there one time when we were with Kansas City. Didn't get to go to his graduation or anything. I was playing, but we opened up in Baltimore one year when I was with Kansas City, and we went and played an exhibition game at Annapolis before the regular season started, and it was just a thrill for me just to go there, and just because of what I learned from my brother. And
Mitch is so well spoken, and I've talked to some of the veterans of the bullpen. I said, can you give him any trouble? Rookie's always going to get trouble. And they say, well, we'll kind of try. And then we realize, you know what? We can't do this to Mitch Harris.
Have too much respect for him.
You got it.
And yet he would want to be in the receiving end of some of that too.
Just wants to be one of the guys.
Yeah, he just wants to be one of the guys. But 29-year-old, rookie after serving 5 years in the Navy, reached the rank of lieutenant, which is comparable to a captain in the Army.
3-2 pitch and a ground ball that's hit to short. Peralta, long throw and safe.
Johnny usually so steady, and always gives those good strong throws. Tough play there for Reynolds. Tried to get the short hop. Edge of the grass. There's the short hop, and it bounces up, hits him on the heel, and ejects.
Cardinals defense has been less than stellar tonight.
Score that a base hit. A little generous. But Dan, we talked about it last night, the way they hustle out of the batter's box. It's the difference of either getting a reward with a base hit or an error.
I understand that, but that play's got to be made. At
this level, it has to be. That's why I said it, very generous.
Yeah. 1 out, runner at first, no balls and a strike on Yasmani Tomas. Carpenter guarding the line at third, Reynolds holding at first, outfield straight away. Somebody said to me, boy, you guys talk about the story of Mitch Harris a lot, and I said we can't mention it enough in my mind. You know, we have a lot of fans that tune in and out of games, and
Right.
there's a story you want to get out there. It's Mitch Harris. I mean, give 5 years to our country so we can enjoy things like this. You bet we're going to talk about it.
Totally agree.
Here's the 0-1. And a fly ball lifted to left. Holiday under it. Goldschmidt drawing a throw. Quickly back in by Holiday for out number 2.
I like that too.
A look at the Mazda game summary. 3-2 Arizona. Cole Mentor 5 innings. Trumbo a solo home run. Lance Lynn wins 6. And Matt Holliday, a new Cardinals and National League record, reaching base 43 consecutive times to start the season. Matt did that with a base hit back in the 5th. That's the cutter right there. And Mitch was saying that there are times when people evaluate him, they couldn't tell the difference between his cutter and his splitter. He said you'll know the difference when the splitter, he said it goes down, but it also has just a slight tail in on a right-hander. The cutter obviously will go away. But good movement when right, dropping down.
See this action there, just that swing and miss kind of tells you the effect. There's the cutter. A swing over the top.
Mark Trumbo with a solo shot and a long home run into center field.
I think Trumbo could be an attractive piece for some club on the trade deadline.
Good pop, infield, outfield.
I mean, think about it now. If Adams is out 3 to 4 months, here's a first baseman. He's shown that he can play the outfield also. It's kind of a like, you know, Reynolds too, kind of a similar type player.
Cardinals were asked about this. Would you move Molina to first base more times this year to take some of the wear and tear off his body? They're open to it, but they rely on him so much behind the plate. Ooh, just back in. And Mike Matheny out on the top step. That means he may challenge. And I mean, there's nothing like a Major League Baseball challenge. He looks back. The phone call comes.
Caught him when he was trying to go to second base.
Hold on, Al. I'm describing the challenge. And then he heads back down into the dugout. Yes, sir. That's a Major League Baseball challenge. Go ahead, Al.
I'm mesmerized by your challenge. I lost my.
How can you not be?
It's better than going out and doing circles around the umpire.
Oh, I like that. Here's a 2-2. I mean, let's be honest. Is there anything more boring to watch than people looking at the monitor? Jeez.
Maybe the umpire is waiting to get the decision from New York.
3-2 pitch and a walk. So runners at first and second here in the top of the seventh with 2 outs. And Cliff Pennington, the switch hitter, singled and scored on a base hit back in the 6th inning. Two outs, 2 on. Arizona by 1 run. 3-2 here in the top of the 7th. And that pitch in the dirt. Here's a 1-0. And a fly ball lifted into left center field. Who wants it? It's Holiday. Time to stretch and a scoreless inning for Mitch Harris. Diamondbacks with a lead of 3-2. It's the Gateway Honda home run inning. If a Cardinals player hits a home run, the Gateway Honda dealers will donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Here's Oliver Perez. A Chevy Colt to the pen, his 23rd appearance. Now you're talking about these players from the Show Me State that could wind up in the All-Star game. You think about Kansas City. They had a game lead over Minnesota to start tonight, 2 in front of Detroit. Kansas City now 28-18. Cardinals 30-16. How about Houston 30-17?
Yeah, they got 30 yesterday before the Cardinals. So 30-game team winner in the National League and one in the American League. Houston did lose tonight 5-4 to Baltimore. Great story though.
Colton Long trying to bunt his way on.
Oliver Perez. How long has he been around? 33 years of age now. He's the 9th Mexican-born D-back and he ranks 3rd on the all-time Mexican-born strikeout list. You know who's number 1, don't you?
Fernando Valenzuela.
Correct. And then Loaiza, Esteban Loaiza, number 2,
Pirate.
former Pirate.
Here's a 1-1 to Colt Wong. In the air to shallow center. Pollock, he's got it. They had a long way to go to get that baseball. Hyundai pitch arsenal. The key there, you'll see his slider just about 34% of the time, and they feel when right, he's still effective because of the slider.
Yeah, he's very tough on the left-handed batters, and he drops down, does a lot of things. Started pitching professionally back in 1999. He had a few mannerisms that I would say some players, some managers wouldn't have liked, but he's been effective.
Carpenter is 0 for 2 with a walk. Holiday to follow.
Over the last 10 games, left-handed batters have only hit 154 against the Reds.
Here's a 1-0 pitch and a strike to Carpenter.
Perez has first got to the big leagues with San Diego back in 2002, then to Pittsburgh, back to San Diego, back to Pittsburgh. Pitched with the Mets, Seattle, and now his second year with Arizona.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Think about the success of the Cardinals, this great run that they've had, 11 postseasons since 2000. There just hasn't been a lot of turnover. Mike Matheny took over for Tony La Russa. Derek Lilliquist was in the bullpen, but Dave Duncan was the pitching coach. Now he slides in. There's David Bell, who's now a bench coach. He's been around for a while. One of the new faces for the Cardinals, one of my favorites, Bill Miller. On the inside corner to strike out of Carpenter. Billy was telling me the other day this is his dream. Born in St. Louis, mom and dad still come to the games all the time. Bill played at DeSmet, Southwest Missouri State, now Missouri State. He told me that he was at Old Busch Stadium too. Game 7 of the 1982 World Series when a home run by Cecil Cooper went right by him. He said that's when I definitely was sold on the game of baseball. Being there for game number 7 of 1982 and then winning with the Boston Red Sox here in St. Louis. He said, boy, it was just unbelievable. Family and friends here and watched the Red Sox break the curse and won a championship against the Cardinals in 2004.
People might not remember that Cecil Cooper was a Rule 5 pick for the Cardinals at one time. And was sent back. And if I remember right, it was because you want to try and keep a young kid that's not quite ready for the big leagues, or keep some guys like Tim McCarver and I think maybe Jay Johnstone. But there were a couple guys that were in there, but they kept the veteran guys. And but everybody knew that Cecil Cooper was going to be an excellent big league player.
0-2 pitch to Holiday. Holiday with a little history back in the 5th. 43 consecutive games he has reached base, and you don't see a lot of emotion from Holiday, but you saw a little bit right there, and then the standing ovation. By the way, he is one home run shy of 275 for his career. Here's the 0-2. Now you think about Bill Miller, you can make a case. The great history of the Red Sox, he has one of the most famous hits ever in franchise history. Dave Roberts came in to pinch run against the Yankees with Rivera on the mound, and Miller got a base hit to drive him in Game 4 to tie it up. They went on their historic run after that. One of the real good people in the game, Bill Miller. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I thought Holiday would have better numbers against Perez. It's just 3 for 18, but one of those is a home run. He's have 4 walks and 4 strikeouts. I thought he would have pretty good numbers against Perez.
Inside. He could tie it up with one swing of the bat. 3-2 pitch. You see Perez do this now out of the bullpen where he spins around and you'll see the back of the jersey, his name and number facing home plate, and then delivers to the plate.
He always had a little bit of a flair to him, and he's had to tone it down a little bit, but sticks around by trying to be a little trickery.
Strikeout of Holiday. Sends us to the 8th with Arizona leading by the score of 3-2. And a Bomberito Sports Update with the one and only Pat Paris. Like to see those minor league highlights get caught up with some of the guys and what they're doing.
Well, Scruggs, I'm sure a lot of people were wondering why he was not recalled, and I think he's had a good week, but still only batting .217 before he hit that home run tonight. And I think they just want him to play every day, just get that stroke down. And Ed Easley may be here just until a couple days until John Jay's ready.
First pitch in the air, right center, off the bat of Pacheco. And Grichuk puts it away for out number 1. Second inning of work for Mitch Harris. Love the drink run with any size, any flavor McCafe. Shake for just $1.99 at McDonald's. Cardinals will enjoy the off day tomorrow. Dodgers will be in town, then Milwaukee. 6 more games to go on this homestand. Here's Nick Ahmed with nobody on and 1 out. Ahmed has walked and scored, struck out, and flied out to left. Fastball in the mid-90s from Mitch Harris.
I kind of like to see Mitch Harris in a pitch in 2 innings. Guys down that bullpen, you can stretch them out a little bit. Not everybody, using 3 or 4 guys a night, each going in 1 inning. That's a way to keep some guys fresh too.
Said to Derek Lilliquist not to put one guy in front of another, but with your son in the military, special place in your heart for Mitch Harris? He said, absolutely. He said, with his story, what he's done for our country, you bet I pull for him.
It was kind of a long shot, and it was great that the Cardinals honored their commitment to him. Initially they were hopeful that he could get his military obligation, which is 5 years, and get it reduced. It's happened to some football players, but with a nation at war, it's a little tough to put somebody through the academy and the expense of that to turn him into a naval officer. And so he fulfilled his commitment and then tried him out for baseball, and the Cardinals said welcome.
2 down. Said in the interview the only person that could catch him was a cook from the Dominican. That was it. And his dad used to send him baseballs to throw on the ships at sea.
If you missed, there's a likelihood it was in the ocean.
It was gone.
And I don't think anybody was going to dive off a ship to retrieve it.
Here is Aaron Hill. So they're down to 1 position player on their bench. It's Chris Owings. Aaron Hill, a middle infielder that's got power. Made 1 start in this series at second base. Big gap in right center field. Cardinals will have Peralta, Grichuk, and Molina. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 8th.
2012, Hill hit 2 cycles. Second player in modern history to do so. 4th in history overall.
That's well hit out to left, but there's Holiday. So 2 scoreless innings for Harris. 3rd time he's gone more than 1 inning this year. And the Cardinals come back again tonight. Live, the perfect beer for whatever happens. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Seven hits aside, beautiful night for baseball. A crowd of 43,715 tonight from Busch Stadium in St. Louis.
See, Ramirez will take over here. Going to be his 7th appearance. He was signed as a minor league free agent this offseason. Was promoted on May 10th to the big league club. Made 11 scoreless appearances at AAA before being recalled. And he's stranded 10 of 12 inherited runners. Nobody on right here. Tomas, the third baseman, almost standing on line. Now he backs away.
First pitch is tapped foul. He is a hard thrower. We saw him throw in game 1. Mid-90s with a slider.
From Nicaragua. This is 6'4", 250.
0-1 pitch. Broken bat. 0-2 the count.
Johnny Peralta is 1 for 3 today. Came in batting over 400 against the Diamondbacks. He's got a 6-game hitting streak against them.
They're at the top of the 9th. Washington leading Chicago by the score of 3-0. The Cubs started play tonight 4.5 back of St. Louis.
Gosowicz left the game, they're saying, with a jammed left knee.
Peralta took this right-hander deep on Monday. Walk-off homer in the 10th. And here it is Monday, and he hung it, and Johnny drilled it.
Peralta has a 6-game hitting streak against Arizona. He's got 10 other hits along with that home run. He's 10 for his last 22. Excuse me, 11 for his last 22.
2-2 pitch. When you think about it, from Monday, now what's the adjustment he makes at this at bat in both cases? How you're going to be pitched, and then how he makes the adjustment to Peralta.
Try not to hang a pitch to him.
Al, your analysis is spot on. I figured that was part of the equation.
I think the first thing is he wanted to get him out before he get to a 3-2 count, though. Pretty much gone in there challenging with fastballs. That last one was a slider, and it was the pitch that he hit out.
3-2 pitch, and Peralta knocks it out to deep left field, but Inciarte is there. Saturday, Major League Baseball on Fox Sports 1 returns as the Diamondbacks take on the Brewers at 3. Then at 6, baseball night in America. Dodgers and Cardinals. Coverage begins at 3 on your home for baseball every Saturday. Fox and Fox Sports 1. Cole, Mentor, Delgado, Perez, and now Ramirez. There's Randall Grichuk. Mentioned that Grichuk part of the David Freese deal, and Bill DeWitt, the Cardinals president, telling me that one of his favorite items over at the Hall of Fame is Freese's jersey, which was shredded from Game 6 into 2 different pieces. Nick Punto got to him, and the one piece somehow stayed on his back or his body. The other piece was thrown into the seats. It was caught by a little girl that happened to have parents that are friends with the DeWitts. And he said to get that piece of the jersey and get it displayed, that young girl now has a very good chance to go to college and have it paid for. Grichuk is safe.
Talk about his power, we talk about his defense, but he can run too, and really hustling out of the box. That may be very, very important in this game. Reaching base here with 1 out. Right off the end of the bat, deflected by the pitcher. Second baseman paints it, comes in, and by the time he flips it, Grichuk is already across the bag. Bang, bang play. And how big will that be?
So, Al, you catch a jersey and, well, nice donation comes your way.
I was thinking she's going to go to college, but then I'm going, oh, come on. But then we know how generous the DeWitts are.
It's going to help. Here's Yadier Molina, a double in the second. A run scored. Again, Pacheco, the backup catcher, is in for Gozawish. We'll see if the Cardinals want to be aggressive. Randall Grichuk, his first career stolen base last night in game number 2.
And Dan, I don't know, but I would imagine that Ramirez's time to the plate is fairly slow. Big guy, 6'4", 250.
Molina slowly hit to the right side. And safe. They're going to call him safe at second base.
Yep, he was.
You've got the neighborhood play, which is not reviewable. This is not reviewable. And Chip Hale cannot believe it.
Well, for years, kind of protecting the middle infielders, they kind of, had a neighborhood play. But now under scrutiny, you can watch it. Is he on the bag? No. When he receives that ball, his right foot came off the base. And get Molina, but Grichuk safe at second. That's the way you see it?
Yeah, I do. He's off the bag. And again, the neighborhood play. Clearly, he's off the bag. This is not reviewable. And if they look at it, whether or not the foot was on the bag, in terms of just that type of play, he's safe. So the tying run would be in scoring position.
Chip Hale has been, a coach at the major league level for a couple different organizations. He's managed in the minor leagues. He's earned his position here.
Chip Hale, by the way, many of you have seen a minor league outfielder by the name of Rodney McRae attempting to catch a fly ball and ran through a wall. You've seen it. It's a famous play.
Yep.
Literally ran through the wall. That ball was hit, by the way, by Chip Hale. You can see he's not happy one bit.
Right foot there, but when he receives the ball, he took the right foot off, and Grichuk would have been out. But by trying to speed up, trying to complete the double play, and with Molina running, they didn't have to do that. They got Molina out, but Grichuk is safe, and Reynolds has a chance to tie or put the Cardinals ahead.
Mark Reynolds has homered against every team except Arizona and Cleveland in his career. The shift is on here for Mark, who singled in a run back in the second inning. Good speed with Grichuk at second base. First pitch taken for a ball.
A lot of clubs, you'd think any base hit to the outfielder, Grichuk would score, but with this outfield, it's not 100% sure.
The 1-0. Cardinals back in the fourth. Second and third, nobody out. Then the bases loaded, one out. Did not score. In the fifth, first and third, one out. Did not score. They have a couple of lefties in their pen. They've used Perez already. You could pitch around Reynolds, bring up Hayward, bring in a lefty if you wanted to face him, and would the Cardinals then counter with Ed Easley?
Hayward is 2 for 3 against Ramirez, but Reynolds has to extend it.
Three 1 pitch.
Get a tremendous jump. 2 outs, 3-2 pitch. He's out there at second base. You can see, even if he starts to swing, just take off. Pennington, the second baseman, playing closest to second base on the shortstop side, really is not paying any attention to Grichuk. He's on the outfield grass.
Three-two pitch in the air, shallow right field, and the catch is made. Cardinals strand a runner. St. Louis has left 8 on. Second appearance this year. He's pitched 9 1/3, 8 hits. Hasn't been used an awful lot, so we get to see him here tonight. He'll start the 9th inning.
It's 6 days since he's pitched, and he's thrown a total of 4 pitches in the last week or so. He was quite busy on the road trip and had some good assignments. Even won a full inning at least once or twice.
Ender Inciarte hitless tonight in 4 plate appearances. On deck, A.J. Pollock and then Paul Goldschmidt.
Ciarte is 0 for 2 against Randy.
And a ground ball that's pulled to Reynolds for the out. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Randy got his man. Now it's up to Seth Maness.
Chevy called for the pin. Number 25 for Seth Maness.
You see a lot of hits, but of late he's been outstanding. This is his third appearance in this series. He got the save last night, getting the final out, and then remember in the 8th inning, after Segras had a rare, rough game, he inherited 2 runners and nobody out, and Seth got him out without any further damage. So he's been quite busy and pitching very well in this series.
A.J. Pollock with 1 out and nobody on. For the Diamondbacks, their closing situation has been a bullpen by committee. Reed was their closer a year ago. Now he's been primarily working in the 8th or extra innings to try to get him right.
Ziegler's warming up, I believe. He's picked up the last save for Chip Hale. Missouri State product.
So Maness gets the strikeout. There's 2 outs, nobody on. Here's Paul Goldschmidt.
Southwest Missouri State.
Which is Missouri State.
Is it? Okay. You know, it changed name. Odessa High School for Ziegler.
Good job by Seth Maness. Again, said that a lot this year. Cardinals head to the bottom of the 9th, trailing 3-2. Chevy called to the pit. Thrown 21 innings. You see him warm up. He's got that unique, funky delivery to the plate. Hayward, Borges, and Wong due up for St. Louis. Ziegler very active with the military. He's a finalist for the Bob Feller Act of Valor Award. He has a foundation in which he donates a lot of money, tickets for families of soldiers that are deployed, financial assistance for kids' educations.
Pastime for Patriots is his foundation.
Also dedicated a field in Arizona as well. Little League ballpark specifically for those involved with the military. One ball, one strike. Don't you see him just getting one of those breaking balls, getting underneath it, spinning it right into the wheelhouse of Hayward?
Yeah, you can see where a guy drops down like that. Usually they have a lot of success against a right-handed batter.
Hayward jumps on it, and this game is tied! 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 Just stayed fair down the right field line.
Hayward had been 0 for 3 against Ziegler.
Could you see Ziegler spitting it?
Well,
and then
well, that's it, because you see a guy release the ball like this. Well, to a right-handed batter, it looks like he releases it behind their back, but to a lefty, they see that release.
And a base hit into left. Winning run is on. Some redemption here for Jason Hayward. Committed an error midway through this game that cost the Cardinals a couple of runs, cost them a lead. Now he's tied it back up. Barely fair. He'll take it. The Cardinals will take it. We're tied up at 3. Now it's Colton Wong. Wong homered back in the first inning.
And you win it in regulation. Talk about the Cardinals have played the most extra inning games already this year, 5-3 in the extra inning games, but this crowd wants to see it in 9.
Does Wong take a pitch potentially to give Borges a chance at second base?
That's another aspect, Dan. Somebody that throws like this, they're very slow to the plate.
A pitch out, ball 1. Wong extended his hit streak to 10. The first pitch that he saw this game number 3 with a home run, his 6th.
Cubs have already lost their game here, so a chance for the Cardinals to pick up ground. I wouldn't say Peter Borges is a very accomplished base stealer, but you could tell with that pitch out, you knew it was a little different delivery as he really rushed and got the ball quickly there. But when he's thrown to the plate, it takes more time.
1-0 pitch to Colton Wong. 2 balls, no strikes. Borges, by the way, 4 steals. He's been caught 4 times.
may want to let Colton have a chance with that hole open on the right side.
And
just keep on, just put a pressure on Ziegler, make him think you're running out there, and let him try and rush to the plate.
.30. Three-one pitch. Think about how the inning started. Chip Hale could have gone to his bullpen with a lefty. If they truly are doing bullpen by committee, you're talking about an inning that starts with Jason Hayward, and then after Borges, back-to-back left-handers. Nuno pitched a ton, so you figure he was out. You've already used Perez. The runner was going there on the 3-2. How much confidence do you have in Andrew Chafin?
Yeah, Chafin, I was just looking. He's 24 years of age. He did pitch 3 games, 3 starts last year for Arizona. And of late, Chafin has been very tough on left-handers. So Ziegler got the save on Sunday against the Cubs.
Broken bat as Borges was running, and he'll stop at second base. The winning run is in scoring position. And you've got the right guys coming up. The Cardinals, when trailing after 8 innings coming into play tonight, 0-14. A trait that you love to see with a championship team, come from behind wins. Houston, we talked about the great run that they've started with. The Nationals have caught fire. The Cardinals and Dodgers with 13, along with the White Sox.
I'm going to put Carpenter on.
You just wouldn't think that with Ziegler, the way that he throws, it's an aspect for Chip Hale to look at because it's beneficial to the lefty.
You know, Dan, Hayward never had a hit off of Ziegler coming into tonight. Neither had Borges. Carpenter hadn't had a hit. Holiday, is 2 for 7. Not a big sample size. But Matt hits, if he hits the ball on the ground, it's either going to go through or it's going to be a double play.
Holiday, last time he was up, struck out, did not like the call. 7 career walk-off hits. And a night that he has extended his streak to 43 consecutive games to reach base to begin the year. He could be a hero tonight.
He's 4th in all of baseball with a .441 average with runners in scoring position.
Here's a 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Peralta on deck. The 2-0.
Not missing by much on the first or third pitch.
2 for 7 against this right-hander. Holiday, 1 home run shy of 275 in his career. They'll turn him loose on 3-0. 3-1.
I like your thinking, partner. I worked with Hayward. Holiday does have 5 game-winning RBIs this year. Tied for 3rd in the National League.
Here's a 3-1. Chopped foul.
Pretty good average there with an intentional pass ahead of Holiday. A few times, or several times, it was Pujols being walked in front of him.
Two pitch. Bases are loaded. Well, Johnny Peralta won the game on Monday with a walk-off homer and a chance to walk it off again against the Diamondbacks for Peralta. Monday, extra innings. He sent everybody home. And now with the bases loaded, 1 out, a chance to send everybody home on this Wednesday night.
Chip Hale on his way to the mound pulled in Trumbo. So they're going to go with a 5-man infield. $43,715. Many have stuck around. Man, help me out. My eyes are bad, but Johnny coming to the plate is Trumbo at first base. Goldschmidt is between the second base. And you got Pennington, who's standing at the second base bag, the shortstop, third baseman, the 5-man infield. The outfielders are in left center and right center.
1 out. Bases loaded. Peralta could win it for St. Louis. Borges the runner at third. Rounder to third. Out at home, and that ball gets away. The Cardinals will win it. The Cardinals will win it in dramatic fashion. Of all ways to win it. Why not this way? St. Louis sweeps Arizona.
The speed of Borges clipped Pacheco, the catcher, and forced an errant throw over the first baseman Trumbo's head. So Johnny comes through once again. Watch Borges come home here. They get the force out, but he catches it, takes the leg out from underneath him. You see the elevation of the throw. It goes, sails over the head of the first baseman, and the Cardinals win the game. The only question, is he close enough to home plate? Yes. His feet and hands would touch home plate. Clean play.
Downstairs we go. Jim Hayes with Jason Hayward.
Yeah, Jason Hayward, a solo homer in the bottom of the ninth to tie this thing and set up the heroics. A 1-1 changeup. Take us through that at bat. It looked like you found a pitch you could turn on.
man. You just try and get him up. You know, this guy's got a lot of sinking stuff, and, you know, he's going to try and make you hit his pitch, and I was able to put a good swing on one.
You hit it hard, and it stayed foul. Did you know it was going to stay foul, or did you have to watch it?
No, I wasn't sure if it was going to stay fair or not. The light was a little bit in my eyes, but I was just hoping it stayed fair, and I saw the umpire point fair, and I was like, tie ball game.
You're known as one of the best defensive players in the National League. You make the error. Are you thinking to yourself, I got to do something to make up for that?
I pissed myself off a little bit, but you know what? Just trying to do too much out there for Lance. I'm always trying to get to the ball for my pitches, and sometimes, you know, I overdo it, and I don't just let the ball fall in and just make the smart play.
This team has seen more than a share of comebacks. You guys never feel like you're out of it, I assume.
No, never, man. Great team, great mindset. You know, fight till the end, and, you know, another great comeback win for us. You know, you don't want to always be that way, but it's nice to be able to pull through. 43
straight games getting on base to start a season for Matt Holliday. Just your thoughts on what he's accomplished.
I mean, one of the best hitters I've been able to watch, you know, my whole life, you know, around the game of baseball. Smart hitter, guy, you know, always takes the team at bat. You know he's got pop, but he always goes up there and puts a high percentage average AB up there. I'm happy for him.
Thanks for the time. Good job.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Jason Hayward.
All right, Jimmy, thanks. Matt Holliday is our Budweiser Player of the Game. Sets a Cardinals and National League record 43 straight games reaching base to begin the season. Holliday, your Budweiser Player of the Game. Hayward, though, tied it up. He launched that baby just fair down the right field line. The speed of Borges coming into play. Breaking up a potential inning-ending double play with Pacheco. Cardinals win it. It's a sweep.